Hello guys, and welcome back. I'm going to start a new series here. This will be video 6 series, and I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, and the reason for that is because obviously with a shelf layout, I don't have access to the back of my layout, so I have to work from the back towards the front. So needed to get a couple of things done before we actually start putting the roadbed down. So as you can see, I've installed my shop lights, and I can show you how I did that. But before I do that, let me say something here real quick. Just if you're a kid, if you're under 18, if you live at home, get somebody to, and you want to do this, get somebody to help you, because it can be very dangerous. And it's just always good to, get another set of eyes looking at it with you, just to kind of help you through it. So yeah, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and tell you how I did this. So I went to Home Depot and I bought these 48-inch, they're called T12 shop lights, I think is what they were called. And T12 is the type of bulb it takes. They each hold two 40-watt bulbs. And what I did when I got them home is I took them apart and I removed the power cords that came with them. You can see it's a 3-prong. And the reason for that was because I wanted to drop this light switch in line right here. So right here, as you can see, I'm not finished with it yet. I've still got the light switch is actually going to mount right here on this L girder, and the face will be sticking out a little bit, so it's easy access, flip the light switch on and off. I wanted to do that because I didn't want to have to, plug and unplug the lights every time I wanted to use them. So the way I was able to achieve that was, as you can see, I wired all the lights up to this junction box here. Let me get up here and I'll show you a better view. So I've got this junction box here, and all the lights are coming into this junction box. The light wiring's coming into the junction box. And I basically just twisted those up, the positive, the negative, and the ground. And then I ran it down this conduit here. The one right here. And I've still got a little bit of mounting to do with those, with the 3/8-inch braces there to hold that in place. And so as you can see, it runs out here, the light switch. Now let me go ahead and turn it on. Oh yeah, much better. So as you can see, the two 40-watt lights are going to offer up a lot of, or plenty of ambient lighting for my layout. If I wanted to go back and add some directional lighting, you can see really all I did is I just installed these 1x3s from along the twin bracket arms, and so I've got plenty of mounting space there, if you will, if I want to add directional lighting. So this right here was actually, let me get this out of the way. This is actually pretty easy to do. The white wire is one of my repurposed shop light wires, so it worked out well. So what I've got here is the white one here that's connected to the light switch is actually the hot wire coming in from what would be the wall. And this other black wire over here, this is what would be the hot wire for the lights. And then what you do is you take the negative wires from the wall, which in this case is the white one, and this other black one, you just twist those together. And I got a little wing nut on, or a wire nut on it there. And then over here I've got the green wire. I don't know if you can see that. That's the green the green ground coming in from the power cord there, and then the black one here is the ground that I've got running through the conduit coming from the lights, which as you can see, is wrapped around the conduit, flex conduit. The reason I had to do it that way was because I just could not fit everything through that conduit. It was very hard. I about never got everything in, you know, the lamp cord and the ground wire through this 3/8" conduit piece here. I was finally able to get it in, so that's why you see the ground wire wrapped around the conduit, which is really no big deal. It's not a safety issue or anything. I just mostly wanted to protect the wires that would be live, you know, just to be safe. So that's why I wired it up this way. So, so you might be thinking, well, why's he got all this stuff out? Well, there's a reason for that. This is actually from my old design here, and this is what's going to be the control panel right here. And I've got to come up with a different design, obviously, for this track. Which, let me show you that real quick here. Let me walk over here. So this is my X-Track program here. So this is everything that I'm going to try to achieve on this layout. So you can see I've got to turn this down a little bit. Here we go. So I've got a train yard here, and as you can see, I've got many turnouts here. So this dark line here, this is going to be my control panel, and this smaller box is going to be my auto pulse dual cab power supply. It's DC. I'm going with DC. I'm not going to go DCC, and there's a reason for that. Simply because I think I mentioned this on my last design. You know, I admire the work, some of the old school way of thinking, the way they were able to achieve things, and I want to see if I can, I want to see if I can be able to do that as well. And then right here, this is actually the control panel, which is what I just showed you back over here. So this is a printout of the control panel. So as you can see here, I've got these, well, this was actually the old wiring diagram. And so basically everything coming from the cabs here is going to come into these terminal strips. And these terminal strips are going to be wired into the double pole, double throw switch, which are these right here. I got slide switch on here. These are toggle switches. But what that enables me to do is turn the various blocks on here. So power the blocks. So as you can see, I've got, this is black and white obviously, so I've got the different blocks here. These are going to be color coded, and again, this is not how my layout's going to look, but it will give you an idea of what some of the future videos coming up, what they're going to be about, because I will go into detail of how I did this. But each block would be denoted by, it would be color coded. So basically, you can turn the block on and off, and you can also flip or reverse the polarity forward, and with these little slide switches here, forward and reverse. So that's how I'm going to power up the various blocks there. And as you saw on my computer screen over there, I've got many turnouts there in the train yard, so I hope I have enough of these switches. I might have to buy some more, I don't know. But and then down here, these are just the slide switches that are going to switch the turnouts. So, you know, I'm going to take this to Kinko's or some printing place and have them printed up in color, and then that'll be mounted probably to a piece of this tempered hardboard, and then I'll have plexiglass on top of that, with all the, obviously with all the holes and everything drilled for mounting the switches. So that will be installed right here on the front of the bench. So as you can see, I mean, there's a lot I've got to do before I could even really start thinking about laying the track. I mean, I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I don't want to get in here and start laying down track and putting in roadbed and everything, and then trying to trying to get some of this other stuff installed. So I figured I'd go ahead and get some of this stuff out of the way, at least partially out of the way, so it's not such a tedious job in the future trying to work around everything. So yeah, here's my auto pulse dual cab controller. This thing is so smooth. I like it. I know DCC is really hot right now, and I know a lot of people are using it, and it is really nice to have, but I don't know, maybe nostalgic. Maybe that's the view I'm coming from, but I want to do it DC first, and just like I said, try to imitate the old school way of thinking, see if I can achieve the same results they were able to. So yeah, I guess my next step is really going to be to install the 1/8 inch tempered hardboard along the back here and paint it and get it in place. I'm gonna hold off on installing the valance up here to hide the lights and the wiring and all that, just simply because I want to be able to have easy access if I need to. So my plan for this series is to install the tempered hardboard along the back, paint it, and finish up the lights, which that's not going to take very long, and then install the valance around the top. Then once we get all that done, then we can come in here and start get the frame built for the control panel, kind of get that out of the way, and then we can start laying down the roadbed and start installing tracks. So we got a little bit of ways to go, but I am going to go into detail of how to install the track, and it's really not too hard. I mean, if you got a CAD program like me, it makes it a whole lot easier. But if you don't, there's a way you can do that just by gridding off your plywood and having your plan gridded off and just kind of match that grid. So it's not too hard to do. I am going to be doing cookie cutter on this, and the track, since it's a train yard, there's not going to be a whole lot of terrain, at least on this side of the layout. But the back track that kind of winds around in front of Alvaville, it will have a 1.5% grade on the loop back down here, and it'll start to rise. And then over in this corner, I am going to have some sort of mountainous scene, so it'll be going into the mountain. Actually, both tracks will, the main line, and wrapping around, and well, for right now, it's going to terminate right here. So that's the plan, and we will talk to you soon.